This side Chandan. I'm a digital sales manager at Engati. So I'll be having this entire meeting and this webinar with you. So let's just wait for a couple of minutes. I can see people are joining in. Hi Khushbu, hi Mithilesh. Yeah, notifications have started coming in. So let's wait for a minute or two and then we'll start this discussion. Um, um, Great. So I guess almost everyone is here. So we can start the discussion. So again, introducing myself, everyone. This side Chandan. I'm a sales lead at Engati. First of all, thank you so much for joining in. I could also see that not only from one particular location, there are people joining in from different locations. So maybe it can be good morning, good evening, good afternoon to everyone. So very interesting topic we have chosen for this webinar, like win with WhatsApp. Like I'm not sure where everyone on a day-to-day basis how interact or how much sort of interactions do they do. But yeah, this topic is very close to my heart considering of the work I've been doing for Engati since last 3 months, where I personally been handling all the SMEs, MSMEs, businesses where they also want to understand that yes, as WhatsApp is there in the market, majority of the customers would like to, or rather would like to speak with the brands. Or maybe from a business perspective, I would say they would like to reach out to the customer, try to create a community on WhatsApp. Where also the numbers I was just seeing in this morning, or over a period of time, I could see that the open rate for WhatsApp is 98%. Where if you run certain ads, click rates are close to about 87%. So yeah, the team also decided that why not speak on this particular topic where we reach out to businesses, give them some of the insights, and we actually jot down a few of the things where we as a business feel that yes, these are few things. If you also as a business feel like yes, this. Or rather, I would say these points are still unaware, or many of the businesses don't know about it. Hence, we have highlighted this particular point, which I'll be speaking to you over the webinar. The list was, I mean, countless, but yeah, we identified 6 to 7 major points which I'll be demonstrating. Because yeah, from a perspective of I would say a startup, or let's say you as a business would like to start reaching to the customer, maybe it's very much important for you at a very initial stage that you go ahead. Engagement should be done in a right way, retargeting should be done in a right way. I would say approach should be done in a very right format. So this is where as a business we have introduced these three things in a way that other things can also be taken into consideration. So what I'll also do is let me also quickly present my screen where I'll have an understanding of what sort of stuff or what sort of pointers we would be currently speaking about. Just a second. Yeah. So if you could see, these are the points that we have also jotted down. The very first thing, as I could see, that the importance of WhatsApp as a promotional channel. Now, I believe everyone in this, or rather everyone in this meeting must have received promotional messages from different brands, something like this in a way where either these are marketing messages that you receive, or maybe some sort of a transaction message that the business would like to reach out. So as an SME or maybe as an MSME, this is very much important for you, where you as an end customer have, or you as a business have multiple customers where you would like to reach out to them. And then WhatsApp becomes a very important channel for you to make sure that you do that. Now, just after that, but a very challenging thing, which I have also understood after speaking with many of the business owners, those who have just started and they want to leverage that, how WhatsApp business account or how WhatsApp business API can actually add more value, is to understand that whether this account needs to be created or what are the prerequisites for this. So one thing before jumping onto this point, I would also like to highlight is, first of all, if you want to use a WhatsApp business account, you need to make sure that you at least have an FBM account where WhatsApp or maybe Meta as a business would like to identify that yes, you are a right business, and they'll give you permission that yes, with the help of an API key, you can do retargeting, engagement, maybe sales and support. So maybe for a minute or two, I would just like to focus on this particular point, which is more important, where you need to create an FBM account, submit documents, which will probably take to close to about 7 to 14 days of the times. Once you have an FBM verification, that's where your number can be registered to a business API through which you would be able to send out broadcast messages, right? A very important point, which there are official, there are unofficial ways of doing it, but we focusing majorly on how what would be the right particular way under Meta that you would be able to acquire more customers. So coming back up to the point where we were discussing this, so yes, these sort of promotional messages. Now these can be transaction messages, maybe offer messages. So I'm just opening up my WhatsApp, showing you all these brands, which, or rather, those who send me all these particular messages. Now, one thing which I would like to cover from here, it's acquisition on WhatsApp, because for all the smaller customers here, or let's say SMEs, MSMEs, they maybe they have a good amount of customer, or maybe the data that they have, but for them, how retargeting or how marketing can also help them acquire customers. So I'll just show you few samples. Like, let's take an example of a hotel industry where I as a customer have already visited a hotel. Now maybe if there are certain offers that the hotel is running, you can retarget them, send this sort of promotional messages, and from there a booking journey, or maybe I would say an acquisition journey, can be created, where I, as an end customer, I can say that yes, I would like to have another stay where I'm getting more offers or more promotional discounts. So a chat automation flow can be triggered where you are asking all these questions. Let's say they have asked me what exactly is my check-in date. After that, they'll also ask what the checkout date may be, maybe how many adults are staying, and more questions. Okay, there's also another question which says how many children if you are taking them, and based on that you can get all these options which would be taken into consideration, because this is a flow where they are not only just qualifying you but also trying to understand what exactly the intent is. So if you see, based on what information I have captured, or rather what I as an end customer have entered, they are suggesting me that hey, these would be the rooms which is available. Now, very, I would say, pleasing carousal format with these sort of images that you have, how your business can be displayed, where CTA buttons can be added. If you see, there's a CTA button giving me an understanding of what the room details are, whether I would like to check a date. So let's say I want to know more information about the details of the room, which is a gold suit. So it gives me an understanding that, hey, these things would be done. Now, obviously, as a customer now, I would also like to know how much I need to pay for this, where they have created a flow giving me an understanding that this would be the rate. I can choose the pricing. So they have kept a flexible pricing. Let's say if you're already a member of the hotel, you can choose that. And you're, when I'm talking about acquiring them in a way via automation, so I'll just confirm and I'll say that yes, I would reserve this place, because yes, through this particular marketing campaign or the broadcast that I've received, I, as an end customer, I'm also getting close to about some sort of discounts which would be beneficial. So I can just simply say pay now, where the booking would be done and your customer would be acquired. So a Razor Pay link can also be shared, or any payment gateway for to be for a consideration. Another way of, I would say, an acquisition can be taken in this manner, where one highlight I would like to mention is WhatsApp also allows you to display a product with a feature called as WhatsApp Commerce, where all the collections and everything can be listed out in a place. So Same, it was a promotional message, if you see, where they are running some sort of a campaign. And from here, they have given me that, okay, these are the stuff. Now, let's say I'm interested in buying a men's shirt, right? So, your the entire WhatsApp commerce flow where all your items, which is there in the inventory, can be displayed. Now, what this does is, for me as a user, it gives me a very a good user experience where I can see all the products under one window. I have images, I have a short description. Maybe from here, I am adding this product to the cart. And let's say a very interesting thing that I, as a customer, I would like to make the payment, or I would like to purchase it because I'm getting more options. So here, I'm sending it to business through which same a flow or a journey can be continued where they are confirming the details. As I'm an existing customer, they have my details, they which asks about my first name, address, and everything. Now, let's say if there are any shipping details as a business you would like to have. So you're still coming to the same point. You're still stuck. I mean, you are still discussing about the topic of how acquisition can be done in a very easy format. Where if I, being a person, considering you go to a website and look for the right product, I can simply click on this payment link. I'll be directed to the payment gateway page. Once the customer makes the payment, once the payment gets completed, you can come back on WhatsApp with a thank you message or maybe a receipt or stuff. So, this these are the ways. Now, obviously, you come. So we have just taken two examples from hospitality or an e-commerce domain. Obviously, your industry can be completely different, but yeah, you have better ways of identifying what sort of journey or how the acquisition can be done. Where we have taken, or rather, we have given two examples. Right. So this is where I actually wanted to cover. One was retargeting. Now, point number three, and then there was acquisition with WhatsApp, which was also, or rather, it also becomes a very important point from an industry standpoint because you're, as you are scaling up in the market, the more customers that you have will help you make your brand grow. And one very interesting thing is you can also create out a community, meaning considering, let's say, if you now have a customer base of close to about 10,000, 20,000, or maybe 30,000 unique users. So newsletters, promotional messages, or maybe those messages where if I am an end user of your brand, I would like to receive all the updates or any sort of new products that you're launching, which will eventually, make me connected with the brand that you have. Right. So this was one major point, which many of, I would say, many of the new CEOs or the founders wanted to discuss, that how they, from a business standpoint, can leverage the capabilities of WhatsApp. Now, also from a different per se, now apart from SMEs, MSMEs as well, you already now have developed a database. Fifth point, which I personally feel is also very much important, is I don't would like, or rather, I'm not a person who would like to give a call, maybe wait on the line for close to about 10, 20 minutes, wait for the customer service agent to speak with me and then explain an issue. If there are ways where I can get an information on my fingertips, or some of the information where I don't have to spend that much amount of time, that's where the automation of the sales and support would come into picture. A very interesting thing, I would say, that one of the customer which we have Block on Audio India is doing it, where they have created out this entire journey where they manage their entire sales and support through this. Where yes, let's say I, as an end customer, I can have any sort of query. So these are your post-purchase journey stuff that can be considered. Maybe I want to track my order, I want to shop something, or maybe let's take an example. I want to register a complaint. Maybe because I've bought a product, but I'm not specifically happy with that. So I'll just select any of the random products. So in a way, where what you're doing is not only you're leveraging WhatsApp, but some sort of basic WhatsApp automation where, let's take an example, the problem I was facing was no sound, low sound, through which now they have also given me. So if you see, the very interesting thing here is they have also given me an introductory video or maybe a short video through which I can try out some of the troubleshooting ways that can be a possibility. But let's take an example, even after watching that, my issue is still not resolved. I'll say that yes, it's not resolved, through which a ticket generation or anything can be taken into consideration. Right. So let's say I just say that, hey, register a complaint, which can be connected to a backend, and things would be taken into consideration where you are now asking for a name, you're asking for any of the basic details. Let's say I'll enter my email ID. So these sort of automations, as in where it becomes very much easier for me to go ahead onboard, or rather take the entire complaint into picture, where it becomes easier from a business standpoint as well, where my customer success or the person handling this would be taken into consideration. Correct. So yeah, very important. I would say now, yes, it depends on case to case. As I said, I have limited time, so yeah, I'll not be able to demonstrate more of the use cases. But considering a gist where I wanted to showcase you that example, where with a good amount of where with a good amount of I would say good amount of basic bot flow automation things can be taken into consideration. So yeah, these are the points I would say from a perspective where if I'm a person speaking to a business in terms of retargeting, acquisition, sales, and support, that would be there. Now, a very interesting topic, taken into consideration these days, as everyone is, rather, if you see, it's a buzz that everyone wants to know what, or rather, to what extent generative AI can come into picture. Now, maybe it can be on a web portal, on an application, or something like that. But for me, the question was, as I'm specifically speaking to you about WhatsApp. So yeah, my concern is, or rather, my topic of interest would be how generative AI on WhatsApp can be considered. So yes, you also have an option of interacting to the customer, not just with a structured flow. Maybe people like me, where they have close to about good amount of queries, my 50 to 60% of the queries can be considered, or maybe or can be solved with a structured flow, where I'm selecting certain options, all these things which you are currently seeing here on the other screen. But yeah, there are Gen Zs. You see people having at the age of 25 to 35, or maybe someone who's just completed the college. They want to know what exactly the problem would be. So they are in a way where they dynamically ask questions. So here, how as a brand you can also leverage the capabilities of generative AI and solve more personalized questions. So yes, WhatsApp also does that. I do have an example regarding that as well, where apart from a structured flow, let's take an example. I can simply agree. So apart or a bit since last 15-20 minutes, what we are doing is we are going ahead with a structured flow where I am selecting certain options, and based on what sort of options I have selected, the bot is able to trigger. But let's take an example. You're a person who dynamically wants result, and what you're doing is you are solving more personalized queries of the customers. Now, let's take an example. I have an option. So, considering an example, this is an investment advisor bot, where what it does is in a structured flow, it allows you to open a demat account, maybe manage my portfolio or anything. So, from demo per se, let's say I ask, can you help me with some investment tips? Because I'm a new person coming. I've just opened a demat account, but I don't know how the flow would be, or what sort of stocks I should look into. So you can just simply ask random questions, where you're in a way where, based on the data set that you have using Engati's platform, more personalized use cases can be solved. Maybe I can ask another question that, hey, what exactly is an IPO? Right, because someone just gave me an understanding that, hey, you should know about this. So I've asked it, through which based on the data set that the business has provided, the bot is able to now understand or solve more of my complex question, through which it also nudges me, because yes, there can be a possibility that the information given to me is correct. But yeah, I would still like to know more about what exactly, or is there any more information that as a business they can provide. That is also there, where I can also schedule an appointment. Maybe I can ask more questions, like, let's say, what are the documents, or rather, let's take an example, how to open a demat account, right? Right. So if these informations are also there, the steps can be guided, and in a very conversation manner, the generative AI capability can be taken into consideration. So yeah, now I'll ask a follow-up question that, hey, what are the documents I require? So what you're doing is you're not only just engaging the customer, but making sure that as a brand your end customer is also stuck with you, getting positive responses, and you are able to also understand as a business the entire customer experience or the sentiment, that what sort of stuff that they are asking in regards to the same. Correct. So if you see, sometimes technology can also play in these manners where, yes, if the information are not there, I can just simply go to main menu, speak to someone, and other things can also be taken into consideration. But yeah, I would say a quick highlight where, as over a period of 2 3 months, where I've been speaking with all these customers from different domains, where we thought that yes, a meeting in regards to these lines, where these are the key features where you as a business needs to focus on to. Obviously, in a way where other things would be done. Now, yes, one was setting up a WhatsApp business account where you would be able to go ahead, understand, register, create an APM account. Second was, yes, retargeting campaigns where um, acquisition, engagement, all these things would be considered. Also, different way of acquisition, which I told you. After that, the point which I covered was automate sales and support, where which after a customer has taken the product as a brand, it becomes very much important to give them a better customer experience. And then at a later stage, you get an option of generative AI too, where not only with the structured flow, but yeah, you are also solving more complex, personalized queries pertaining to your end customers. Right. So yeah, these were the six major points I would say we identified, and I wanted to speak, or rather, have a meeting on those lines where you as a brand also understand. Obviously, we have an entire resource segment here. You can just simply, click onto, or rather scan this QR code where you'll be able to get it. I'm happy also meanwhile to take any of the questions or anything that you guys would like to ask. Right. Mm, okay, so just a second. Let me just see the panel list. Yeah, you can also DM me. That's fine. Okay, so someone has just asked a question mentioning that how if they have a huge customer base, but yeah, WhatsApp has some restrictions, so how they can also increase their promotional limits. So yes, I would just like to mention that whenever you go ahead and register your number with the WhatsApp Business API, initially WhatsApp only gives you a limit of 1,000. But yeah, you send out these broadcast messages to unique users over a period of 3 to 4 days, it will increase it to 10,000. Then again, you send out or maybe continue the same conversations, reaching out to unique customers for close to about 3 4 days more, it will increase your limit to 100K, and then so forth. So yes, this limit is something that Meta decides, but yeah, we can help you or guide you with the steps which would be necessary. And a very follow-up question to that I would also like to answer is a green tick. Yeah, as a business, it's very much important where you as a if you have registered your business on WhatsApp, it's important to also have a green tick, which will make the brand more authentic. So that also comes under the Meta policies where yes, they'll see the basic limit I would say that your number should be of 10,000 broadcasts per day, which is the second tier. Maybe more unique users you need to target. After that, if you're applying for a green tick, so Meta allows you to apply for a green tick every month. If even if it gets rejected, you can apply it for the next month. Maybe if your brand has newspaper articles or any sort of information that can help to verify something, that's where Meta will give you that green tick better. Mm. So yeah, these were the two questions. Any other stuff? Mhm. Okay, yeah. So there's one more question that I've got. So I'll just read out that message. So how to measure the success of broadcast? Let's say open rate and responses. So I would say that we have an analytics segment where you can understand where all how many messages have been read, how many messages have been opened, or if the people have opened, whether they have clicked it or not, based on the analytics that we have. And another question which says, are there any regulatory or privacy concern regarding broadcast? Yes. So one thing which I would like to highlight is as Meta as a business, you allows you to reach out to retarget or maybe send out broadcast messages to any of the customers if you have their number. But yeah, they have a restrictions in regards to you cannot go ahead and send out I mean blocking I would say dating websites or maybe dating templates would not get approved if you're running a political campaign. That might not get approved. And there are other stuff as well. Let's say medicine promotions are also not allowed. So these are some things which is also available on our resources where you can just simply search through. There's also a question from Khushbu which says how many times the number gets blocked, how to sort it out. So primarily, if your number gets blocked, I guess it's for close to about 2 to 3 days. But yeah, Meta will give you a reason, or rather, you'll be notified that why or for what purpose they have blocked it. Then yes, they'll put a temporary hold. Then after that, again the number can be used. Then, if there's a second block, then obviously this particular suspension is for more than uh, 5 days or maybe 7 to 8 days. Here also you'll get a reason, but eventually this is completely up to Meta. But like we don't have the exact details. We don't have the exact number, but yeah, definitely based on a case-to-case basis, whether there would be a permanent block or maybe a temporary suspension, those things can be taken. Right. Because here the volume or the number of blocks that the customer are doing or reporting your number also matters a lot. Yes, so another question. Okay, someone has asked, what can I do to get more opt-ins and unique users? So opt-ins, as in, yes, you can have CTA buttons in place where someone interested, or let's say you have a list of 10,000 customers and you want to run a newsletter, or maybe you want to run a campaign to all these customers close to about every week or every 2 weeks. These things can be taken into consideration, and you can have those CTA buttons in place. And to avoid the blockage, or I would say spamming of from the customers to your business number, that's where you can also have opt out buttons in place. Okay, we have Kim who has asked how to optimize the message for engagement, such as including multimedia or interactive message. So there's also one more, key feature which WhatsApp also has, introduced here. I would also like to show you is this where they have introduced a carousel template, where what this does is this allows you to send out multiple cards at one particular go, which I'll just trigger a path for that where you will be able to relate it. Not only just one particular image, but let's take an example, something like this, where more messages can be taken into consideration in a way where you are increasing the chances, or maybe here the engagement comes better because the customer can now see more information and more sort of CTA buttons can also be introduced. So yeah, this is one. Any other questions? Let's see. Sure. I've covered that. Okay, I guess it's the same. Okay, how to handle opt-outs or unsubscribe requests from recipients? Same. Either you can have an opt-out button, something like this, which I would also like to again show you. You can have a, let's say, the same broadcast which I showed you right now is maybe you can have a CTA button which says stop promotions, or maybe someone, okay, this was a recent message. If you see, they have also replied. I mean, they also have a footer which says stop to unsubscribe. So yeah, this also allows, and you can in if this is set as a campaign, then as a business, if the customer has clicked onto the button and maybe just unsubscribe, so those messages will not go to those end customers. Okay. Any legal? Yeah, I believe I've covered that question. Mm, great. So I believe everything has been answered in a I would say in an informative way. Yes, guys, feel free to reach out to us. Understanding if you want to have a demo, maybe want to connect with us, get more insights of how you as a business can leverage WhatsApp, how you as a business can also win with WhatsApp. You can connect us on uh, Instagram, you can connect us on mail, maybe you can connect us on LinkedIn, anywhere. And yeah, looking forward to speaking with you guys another time. Thank you. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.